I'm gonna tell you a story. Young kid named Homer Wilkes lives about 30 miles north of here. He'd just taken his girlfriend home and was walking back along the road. The car pulled up. 3 white boys took him for a ride. Now, he hadn't done anything except be a Negro. And they took him to a shack like this one. And they took out a razor blade, regular old razor blade like this one. And they pulled down his pants. They spread his legs. And they sliced off his scrotum. Put it in a coffee cup. Do you know how much you bleed when somebody cuts off your balls? Huh? When they found Homer, they said he looked like he'd been dipped in blood up to his waist. He was barely alive when they got him to the hospital, and he can hardly walk now. Mayor, we know you know who was there when those 3 civil rights boys was murdered. We know you know who pulled the trigger. Is there something you want to say to me?
Shalom. I'm Dawa Ben Yisrael, your host for this segment of the Yah's Real Hour. It's December 17, 2013. And today I have a very serious topic to deal with. I want to start it off by letting everybody know that this is also a call-in show, live call-in show. The number that I can be reached at is 312-738-1845, 312-738-1845. Today I'm have a sister from Memphis, Tennessee, call into the show, and she's going to tell us what happened to her child. I'm going to start off with a little bit of information. On August 14th, this sister had a male child, indigenous male child, in Memphis, Tennessee, at a hospital. And the child was due to receive a circumcision, which was only supposed to take 20 minutes. And after 3 hours, they came and they gave the mother the child and told the mother to go home and everything was supposed to be all right. Sadly to say, everything was not all right. And I know I've talked about castrations and things like that on my show several times before. I talked about Rosewood and how in the movie Rosewood there was an incident where there was a male in whom the European males of that particular time in that particular place thought that they had captured the so-called brother or the indigenous male that was supposed to have raped this white woman in the town of Rosewood. And that brother, when the coroner came to look at his body after they had hung him, he had a sheet wrapped over his body, and the coroner started from the head, and he pulled the sheet from the head, and he saw he's missing an ear, and he said, oh, he's missing some fingers, and then he went down toward his torso a little deeper, a little further down, and he said, and other parts, basically letting us know that he was castrated. Europeans, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing has so eloquently put it, have black or indigenous male penis envy. And as long as they have this, we are going to be a target. we may want a utopia. We may want this society of multiculturalism and all this and that, but it's just not really what's going on in the mind of the so-called average European man. I never knew that I would actually be talking of a true story in 2013 of real live castration. Even I thought that the European had stopped that, but I guess, you know, even myself doing these shows after so many years can sometimes be duped and fooled into believing that Europeans have some type of concern and care within themselves. And I know some of you all may say, well, it's not all of them, but it's enough of them. Hell, you know, it's enough of them that's out there doing all these types of things to our people. But anyway, the sister's on the line now, and I'm going to introduce her in, let her come in and speak to you all in reference to what happened to her child August 15, 2013. Are you there, sister?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm all right. Why don't you go ahead, sister, and tell the audience here in Chicago what happened?
August the 14th. It was August the 14th. I took my son in to get circumcised at our local clinic, which was Christ Community on Broad Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. We went into the clinic. Dr. Lou, asked me, my cousin, and my daughter to step out in the hallway. The circumcision was going to take 20 minutes. And when we stepped out in the hallway, I noticed an hour went by, 2 hours went by. I started knocking on the door because I heard my baby screaming like life or death. You know, he was like, he had a cry that it wasn't even a normal baby cry. He gave a cry like, help me. It was more like a help me cry. And I kept knocking on the door, asking her, was everything okay with my son? She was like, I'm wrapping up everything. We should be done shortly. So 3 hours went by, and I kept knocking on the door. She was like, everything's going well. Just get a minute. I'm finna pass them out. So like 3 hours and 30 minutes, she passed my son out the room. And she said everything went well with him. We never did go back into the room. We stayed out in the hallway. So she gave me my baby out in the hallway. She said, don't remove that bandage over his penis for 4 or 5 days. But the circumcision went well. Everything turned out fine. He did great. And here's your baby. And I took my baby and I left the clinic. I get back to my home. My baby was still hollering on the way going to the house, and she gave me my baby back. He's still screaming, don't want no one to touch him. And he screamed so much it was like it wasn't even a cry left in his body. Like he was just moaning. And when we got to my home, I walked in the house. My sister was like, well, let me see the circumcision. I said, well, the doctor said don't remove the bandage for 4 or 5 days. And my sister was like, well, I'm finna look at this baby and see why he's screaming and crying like this. And my sister opened up the pamper. Well, I was in the kitchen cooking, and my sister opened up the pamper, and she looked in the pamper, and she came in the kitchen and told me it wasn't no penis there, and it was covered in blood. I need to come look at it. And I was like, stop playing. And then my cousin, well, my friend, she considered her as a cousin to me. She was in the room as well. She bust out and started crying. She was at the clinic with me. And she was like, they wrong for how they did this baby. And I knew it was serious then. So I stopped what I was doing. I ran to the bed. I looked at my baby, and with no penis there. And it was covered in blood. The blood had seeped through. She put a gauze. She taped it down to his skin. Like, I believe she used the whole roll of tape to tape it down. That's how she had it taped. The blood seeped through the tape. It seeped through all the way through the mouth was covered in blood, and the whole pepper, it was like seeking out the pepper almost. So I immediately grabbed my baby. I put him on another pamper. I immediately grabbed him and I took him to Labona Children's Hospital. When we made it to the hospital, I felt like it was no HIPAA in the hospital. It was like, you know, they were so busy trying to see. They never seen nobody with a baby with his penis off. It was like the very first episode to them. So they had it like, you know, it wasn't no HIPAA. Like, they called every doctor besides give my son the proper care, running tests, taking blood work. They didn't do any of that. They didn't sterilize him. They didn't do anything. They seen that he was in a lot of pain because of the swelling was on his leg. They just, you know, they was like, wow, we never seen this happen before, and they prescribed him codeine Tylenol 3. And so when they, my baby was 3 months at the time. I did my research on it. By me being a mother, I'm not licensed to prescribe a 3-month-old baby codeine. I could have gave him too much. It could have killed him. It could have caused brain damage. So when I left the Bunners, after they gave him the codeine, they brought every doctor in the room. That I don't care what field that they was doing. Every doctor that was in the hospital, every nurse that was in the hospital that night came down from whatever department they worked in, and they was all shocked, and they was looking at my baby. We recorded like about over 50-some doctors, nurses walking in the room, and I'm like sitting back like, where's the HIPAA at in this hospital? You know, is there a HIPAA loss? I thought like it was like they lost focus of taking care of my son that night. So the next day, they released him with the codeine. The next day, I went back to the clinic. I had a tape recorder, and I recorded. I told her that I was about to record, you know, our conversation, and I was like, because I don't feel like, you know, I don't want to say nothing that you could say I agreed to something, so I'm just gonna put you on recording right now.
Okay.
And so she was like, oh, well, it was an honest mistake. It wasn't a cover-up. I was like, well, deep down in my heart, I felt like it was a cover-up. You gave me back my baby. You didn't say anything to me about nothing. You made an honest mistake on my baby. It probably could have been a mistake, but you didn't tell me that you made a mistake on my baby. You just gave me back my baby like everything was okay. I told her, I was like, not even my baby life you almost stole, but my life you could have stole. You know, if I would have waited 4 or 5 days and removed that bandage, after I left that clinic, you could have easily came back and said, well, Ms. Rose, when your baby left the clinic, he was fine, and they would have had me all over the news talking about a Mrs. Mom cut off her baby penis, dead at her boyfriend, or you know how the public and the paparazzi get stories all twisted. And I was like, you know, I'm a hard-working mom, and I deserve more respect than you not telling me anything about my son. And I was like, well, where is my baby penis? Well, Ms. Rose, we already threw out all the trash. So I'm like, my son is walking around here with no penis. Y'all already threw out the trash. I was like, well, what could I do? What do y'all expect me to do? Well, I'm so sorry. It was an honest mistake. Anything we could do. She was just kept apologizing, said that she sat up all night wondering if she made a mistake on my son or not. And I was like, I don't feel like it was a mistake. I feel like it was a cover-up. I feel like you was covering it up. You kept covering it up. I said you tried to correct the problem, and as you was correcting the problem, the bigger mess that you was creating.
Okay.
And she kept saying, well, Miss Rose, I promise you, well, I thought about all the blood that your son lost inside the clinic. And I said, excuse me? I said, my son lost a lot of blood inside the clinic and you not tell me anything? I said, it didn't better yet. My baby could have came home and died on me. And y'all would have had my face all over the news this morning. I'm charged with what, you all did. And I was like, I'm not no any parent. I had 2 jobs. I'm working to provide for my family. And it was like my life came to an end in one night.
So, again, to the callers, to the people that's listen to the show, you can call in and ask this sister some questions. You can talk to me as well as her. The number is 312-738-1845. It's 312-738-1845. So you say they threw out the trash. So, in other words, his penis was just trash after they just cut it off. They didn't even attempt to try and sew it back or just threw it in the trash. That's what you're telling me?
No. Yes, it was, I guess, my son's body part was considered as trash that day.
And who made that call? Do you know who made that call to say his body part that he was born with from the Creator was trash?
Dr. Lou stated to me, we threw out the trash. So I took it as my son's body part was considered as trash that day.
Wow. Can I ask you, where is the father in all this?
Right now we going through our custody battle for him to sign his rights over, and that's all I have to say about my baby's dad.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. I can't believe it. The things that people will do in this country to black people is, and we get ready to go into 2014, and we got President Obama, so-called, black president, and all these things are happening on his watch to us. I just cannot put words to this. I'm at a loss for words on this one. So, you have a lawyer, correct?
Yes, I do.
And where are you right now, as far as this case goes, as far as suing this here hospital?
Well, right now, I just found out Saturday. We waiting on the judge to sign off on the paperwork. It's been 120 days. We've been waiting on medical records from the clinic and the hospital. They refused to give my lawyers the medical records for my son Ashton. And now we waiting on a judge from the Supreme Court to sign off on the medical records so they can put out an order petition to get those records for Ashton.
The white folks that's the law got to make the other white folks do what they supposed to do in the hospital. I see. Hold on for a second. I'm going to allow a caller to speak to you. Go ahead, caller.
You talking about me?
Go ahead, Rose. Yes, go ahead, Rose.
Oh, this okay. Dawa, you know what? I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say myself. I'm like you. I don't know. This is horrible. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And this has always been like that. It's nothing new. It's really sickening. And it's going to continue to be like this. This ain't not going to change. Sister, I'm sorry about that baby. Your baby. I'm so sorry. I am. I really am. I'm like that. I don't know what to even.
Turn your TV down, Rose. Turn your TV down.
He's messed up for life.
Turn your TV down, Rose.
Huh?
Turn down your television.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
He's messed up a life. He's met poor thing. He just messed up a pretty little boy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, I just don't. I know they savages. I know they'll eat you. You know, I know what they'll do to you. I know what they'll do. I've been watching them all my life.
Yeah.
They tell me you got to be careful what you say. Careful how?
Right. I don't know, Rose. As much as you and I have sat down and had conversations about this story here, I just.
Oh wow. And we talked about the same thing 1,000 times. You know that. Things like this we discussed thousands of times.
Yeah.
Wow. I just. Oh Lord.
Well.
Is there nothing can be done about this baby, about the penis?
No, as you said, like she just explained to us that the penis was
if it's trash, you threw it away, huh?
Yeah, it was considered if they threw it away, knowing them,
Yeah, that's right.
If they threw it away. Because we know the history of these individuals. They would cut a man's penis off, a brother's penis off.
They've been doing it through slavery. Yeah, they always have did that.
And they would keep them as souvenirs or other things like that, too. They had recipes where they would eat them and everything. People think I'm just talking. People think I've just been talking. This story lets people know I'm not just talking.
No,
I ain't
you're
just
not.
sitting
You
up
never
here
have
doing
been
no
just
damn
talking.
TV show just to be doing no damn TV show. This is real. This is real life. We are here. This is war, and we better pay attention to what they're saying. They're saying a lot of things with this here.
That's right. It means a lot, and it's saying a lot.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your call, Rose.
Wait a minute. Let me explain something that I do know for sure. I've been watching for centuries. I said centuries. Anyway, I know that the white girl, she's very much afraid of the white man. I know that. She's scared of him. He will bust her head wide open with an iron pipe. He have always been very, very cruel. I know he'll do that, and she's scared of him.
True.
That's why she jumps to want to go with sleeps with the black man all the time. He's angry about that too. But I do know he's a vicious. He's a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. Shit, goddamn. I'm through. I don't know what. Like I said, I'm like you. I'm speechless.
Thanks for your call, Rose. I appreciate it. And next caller.
You know what they say, nothing is new under the sun. And I'm really sorry for what happened to this lady's baby. This is just horrible. And you know what? These white men, they're really angry that all their women are going to the black man. They're really angry about that. And also to the mother, isn't it like some kind of reconstructive surgery they can do or something?
That's a good question. I'm going to bring her back in and allow her to answer that question. Miss Rose, would you come on back in now and answer that question? The sister asked, is there any type of medical procedure that they can do? Okay. Miss Rose?
Yeah, they lost her.
Lost Miss Rose? Okay. Well, is there any more calls on the line? Go ahead. Let me let the callers call, and hopefully she'll call back. I think we may have lost her, but if we did,
Hello, yes, this is Maggie.
Okay, great. Did you hear the question that the sister asked?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well the sister asked a question. She asked, "Is there any type of medical procedure, something that they can do to assist?"
They followed did his reconstruction October the 17th of this year. But they didn't do the reconstruction due to the fact that they had already in the system that a lawsuit has been filed and wasn't even a lawsuit filed at the moment.
Now, we was having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Say that. Repeat that again, please.
Sir?
I said we was having a little trouble hearing you. Can you repeat that again, please?
I said they had in the system that a lawsuit had been filed, but wasn't a lawsuit filed. And they started his reconstruction October the 17th, but they didn't.
Oh, okay. So they are going to try to do something to assist this child to have a normal life.
Correct.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So they pushed the repercussion off for October they pushed the repercussion off for April the first week in April.
Okay. Do me a favor. How does tell the audience, how does the child urinate? I mean,
He urinated at a hole that was left there. That's where he urinated at us.
Okay, just stay on the line, sister. I'm gonna go back to the phones and let some more people chime in on this conversation. Go ahead, caller. You on the air.
Hello?
Turn your TV down. Go ahead. But turn your TV down, but go ahead. You on the air.
Okay. Hey there, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I always call me. My name is Teresa. And I just want to say, Miss Maggie, I'm so sorry about your son and everything. And I have met with Dawa before. He met me and my kids here at the park just some years ago. I have 4 sons. And I did have 2 of them circumcised, but they wasn't babies. They was like up the age, maybe about 7 or 8, somewhere up in there. But I stayed right there at the hospital. Anytime they ever had to stay in the hospital overnight and anything, I spent the night. I asked questions because this is what we as African Americans need to know, is that when our children go to the hospital and they need to stay there overnight, we need to stay there with them. Because you have people coming in doing stuff they don't have no business doing. You have people who they are training, on-the-job training, and they are students. They don't know what they're doing, and they can mess your kid up for life, So I am truly, truly, truly devastated of what's been happening with your son. And I words can't even express how much I could be with you right now, just give you a hug and just to let you know that someone is here for you. If you ever need to talk to anyone, if Dawa wants, if I can leave my number, you could call me because I'm dealing with 4 boys of my own. And I'm glad that I have had the chance to watch the program tonight. Dawa, love you.
Peace too. Love you too, sis. And I remember that sister, and I remember her boys, and talking with them. It'd be nice to see them again and see how they've grown, and sit down and talk with them again and see where they are mentally now. Hopefully, I've been able to have some type of positive effect on them. At least I hope so. I think so. Thanks for your call, sister. Next caller, please go ahead and speak. Next caller.
Hello, am I on air?
Yes, you are.
First of all, as usual, hats off to you, Brother Dawa.
Thank you.
I would like to ask the lady, was the doctor a white or an Asian woman?
Okay. I'll make sure I relay that question to the sister. Is she still on the line? Yeah. Did she hear that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear
Hello?
that? Yeah, go ahead, sister. What did you hear the question?
She was an Asian doctor.
Are you still there, brother? Okay. Well, yeah, brother. She said it was an Asian doctor. Now, there's something that we must understand in reference to Asians as Europeans. Both of these 2 groups of people or individuals have been intermingled with Neanderthals. So they have Neanderthal blood and sometimes that same mentality. And we know that some of the so-called Asians are in what we know of today as the motherland, trying to gain some type of control over that as well. So we have to pay attention to these 2 groups working together for the demise of what we know of as the indigenous males and females of this planet, so-called black folks. Next caller. Go ahead.
I would like to know about when they removed the penis from this child. she said that they had a hole, left a hole there, right?
Right.
Okay. Maybe this kid can live a normal life if they reverse the genes.
How so? What you mean?
Like, he was born a boy. And if they can't replace the penis, can he be turned into a girl?
And you seriously want me to answer that question? Really?
Yes, really I do. If you want to have a normal, you say have a normal life. It has been some kids that has had that operation.
Okay, well, let me just say this, because we are living in a